Hey Taurus, this is Perrymore Tarot's daily reading for October 28th, 2025. This is for Taurus. Last shuffle coming out for Taurus. Let's see what's going on. So, Taurus, what we have is Angels of the Four Directions. We also have a creative endeavor, and this tells me that Archangels Raphael and Uriel are trying to heal something and uncover some something within a person to help you to have faith in the people around you. They want you to have faith in the people around you, that you need to bring somewhat of a gentle approach to the people around you, I want to say, if that makes sense. um, they're saying that there's something rich within the darkness, if that makes sense to anybody. There's something rich in there. There's a nugget of, there's like a diamond in the rough in this situation. They have Chiron placements and ninth house placements in all of this, with the world and all, yeah, and the King of Wands. Like King of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Page of Cups, and the Three of Swords, Angels of the Four Directions. The thing is like we can't seek anyone's approval. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. That much is very clear. There's something within you that needs to be said or done. And I feel that if you ask your angels before you, or ask them to guide your words, guide your steps, whatever the case, I think you'll find that a lot of people respect you. I do see a lot of respect here. I see a lot of people feeling, though, that you're entitled. I know how that sounds, right? You could be like, I was never entitled, okay? I had to eat noodles like everybody else. But people feel like you aren't entitled necessarily, but you're privileged. And I'm seeing the privileged energy, okay? That everything is there for you. Either you have the talent, you have the skill, you have the knowledge, you have the right personality, you have something, you have star quality, or you have a leadership quality that everyone's going. You know how like the leader, everyone always thinks the leader's got it going on, and the leader might be making less than everybody else. That goes. I've seen people like in a group setting, everyone's like deferring to this person, and I'm like, the millionaire though is the one following them. Not that being having money makes you more or less of a leader, but it may say something about your tenacity and how your law of resonance and attraction. It may say something about it, and you would assume that it's someone who can that can resonate with a lot of wealth. You'd be like, well, wow, okay. But I would say to you that the angels want you to see that you are a prolific leader. Like you're the type that could be the voice of a crowd. And I feel that most of the issue would be that people don't realize that there may be a reason for your voice, and the reason could be a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. You may feel like closed off, or that you can't be vulnerable, you can't let your feelings out, because if you let that out, you know you may expect to be hurt, because they're giving me that it's safe for you to love, it's safe for you to be open. And one thing is for certain is that the right people will understand you. The right people will see that great relationships are ones where you are supporting and you're comforting at the same time. You support and you challenge, right? That's what love is all about. It's not about agreeing with everything that everyone says. Just because I said I love you doesn't mean I believe everything you believe. That's a big issue in my life. I can tell you, a lot of my friends, like my quote unquote friends that were in my face, all around my family, everything, as soon as something came up or a subject comes up that we don't agree with, oh gosh, now it's like I'm all kinds of stuff, and we're no longer speaking because you wouldn't agree. You disrespect me. Disrespect is not agree. I mean, is not disagreeing with you. It's how you disagree, I would say. But you know what I mean? Not agreeing and then calling names and stuff. It's like, ooh, okay, that's disrespectful. But if I don't agree with you, I just don't. You know, disrespect would be to, there's a lot of things, but I'm seeing this energy for you, which is why I'm bringing this up. They want you to let go of expectations. They want you to say that to yourself as you approach your community, as you approach a group of people, as you deal with people throughout the day. I let go of all expectations. Why? Because you really do have to have faith that you are being called to something, that everything that you want is at your fingertips. I feel that most people around you are, um, they may buck at the system, I guess, if you will, and you may be somewhat a very integral part of the social ecosystem of a group of people. Like you may be the strongest voice, right? The angels want to call attention to uncovering some things within you that, um, you've got to just go after what it is that's within you, regardless of the expectations of other people. So this tells me that what you want to do or what you are really good at may be going against the grain of other people. Okay, oh well, right? A creative endeavor is the world in the Knight of Swords. So a creative endeavor is an event. This is something that happens, or that something that is all your own. It feels like you finally put the period at the end of a sentence here. This tells me that you are finally leaving some baggage behind, which tells me that you may be bringing something to the light. Some of you may be an activist almost, like you're calling attention to something where you don't feel like it won't be acceptable in a certain crowd, right? Like that, you get like you're the only one vetoing everything. But it's important that we heal. Okay, Chiron placements and ninth house placements talks about acting on faith is, and understanding that the path that's before you, the path that you're on, it will lead to healing. Because and usually when we heal something, it means we bring it to the light most of the time, right? At least that we're aware of it. First step to anything is awareness and acceptance, and you know what I mean, taking accountability for it. That's the first step. Like in order to get better, you have to admit that you have a problem. You have to admit that you're not well in order to get well. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, but I mean, but that's not the case for most viruses. It doesn't matter if you admit I have a cold, the cold still got you. The cold's like you don't have to admit you have me. I have you. But when it comes to like a lot of interpersonal issues, or like, this would be something that you think about quite a bit. This is something that has already happened, of course, but you can't let it go, and it's been fuel maybe to push you to be a leader in something. Like maybe for a lot of us, right, abuse is a big ticket, a big trigger, and we don't have a problem stepping up when we feel that someone may be experiencing some of the same crap we went through. I was just watching a crazy. This video wasn't crazy, but I was shocked that no one stood up. So this man, he's outside with his two children. His two children had to be about 8, maybe. It's a little girl and a little boy, and they start the video with this big woman. She was kind of tall. She was like, I was like, ooh, she looks like an athlete. Yelling at him, saying, "Don't you ever call your daughter the B word again." Like, I better not hear it. I guess he was yelling at this child outside, and there's men around her. They weren't as big as her, which is funny. She was tall and like kind of, I would feel comfortable standing next. I'd be like, yeah, stand behind her, like, yeah, you heard her. But um, she was upset, and the men around her were going, you should just stay out of it. Be quiet. You're scaring the kids. And she turned around and was like, "You guys shut up, because you stood there and you heard it and you did nothing about it. I don't want to hear anything out of you." And then she turned to the guy and she was like, "Don't you ever talk to that little girl like that again. That's crazy. I can't believe that you would do that," kind of thing. But it came from a triggered place within this woman. Um, I personally, but most people are like, "Oh, she's triggered," and that really blew me, because I'm like, how many people do that to children? If you're That's the instead of going, "That was wrong," I would have probably stood up and said the same thing. They were like, "Ooh, she's triggered," right? So I'm like, wow, there's a lot of adults out here that are like breaking children's spirits. It's sad. It's sad. But I see you in this energy. I bring this up to say that is where you may be put. You might find yourself in a position where you're like, no, it's safe to open up. It's safe to be vulnerable, because perhaps something is triggering that causes you to be a leader, to be the main voice, to stand up. And it doesn't matter whether anyone else approves. And that's what I meant by that part. When the other men were standing around going, "You probably should just stay out of it." And she just like lost it. Like, "And you stood over here and you said nothing. So it must be okay for you." That's wild. But don't say anything to me now, because it's wrong. As if another adult was to say that to your child, you'd be ready to fight. But if you do it, it's crazy, you know. It blew me. I was like sad to see that. The sad, okay, I almost cried. I was like, just to imagine a child standing there and that's just like what they're being told by someone that's supposed to love them. I've witnessed that in my own personal life, and I don't talk to this person to this day. This woman wonders why her child is off the kilter somewhere, and no matter how much love I poured into the people that it just, like, goodness gracious, you just have to let spirit. Hopefully, spirit takes the wheel. Um, the vast universe with the Tower and Hanged Man tells me that you're headed in a direction where you're going to be enlightened, but this enlightenment is going to hit you like a ton of bricks. I'm seeing angel number 222 in this, and that's a number that usually speaks of alignment. So I feel that this is going to be a boom, a change in perspective on something. You're meant to see something differently, but the question would be like, how do you move forward towards your life's true calling? And you got to find, I feel like you find what makes you happy in this environment, in this energy. You got to follow your interests. If it's piqued by anything, it doesn't matter why, it doesn't matter what it is, who cares? And they're saying that because whatever it could possibly be may be something that most people would go, oh, Taurus is over there at that store, and and who cares? You got to follow what's inside of you with faith. There's something good in the dark energy that other people consider dark, like what we're doing here, right? There's a grouping of people, right? We won't say, nah, but there's a grouping of people that feel like this is really, really bad. But we find richness, and we find that, you know what? If our Creator created everything, why would you know what I mean? Think deeply about things before you allow dogma or other people to place their expectations onto you. Read for yourself and then go, but if Creator created everything, then don't you think with the ineffable, the infallible, this also, you know what I mean? So either way, follow your interests. It will lead you to where you're meant to be. I feel like you're going to find I feel that this is going to be a shocker, but it's going to tear down the foundation of something that you that may have had you held up or suspended for a long time. It could be a fear of something, and not necessarily that you're afraid of anything, but you may have a fear of something that you may consider dark, and you may realize it's it's safe for me to love something. It's safe for me to love a person. It's safe for me to challenge things. You should always, you know what I mean? Always, because the truth should always be challenged, because the truth will always be the truth, right? I mean, so why not challenge it? The only thing you don't want to challenge is the deception, the lie, the illusion. Because if you challenge it, it will fold, and it doesn't want to be challenged. So that's something that I always find. I always, really think deeply about things before you start, you know, getting on the high horse and thumping stuff. It's like, okay, well, the truth can be challenged. Of course it can. What is it going to do but stand true? So that's what I'm seeing there for you. Optimism is the Six of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Now, the optimism in this is that it feels like this choice that you make, or the path that you are choosing, that you learn so much along the way. I feel you are gonna. I mean, this is a success. You learned something, and it's almost like there's a joy, there's a glee that you found something, or you understand something on a better scale, on a different level. The angels are trying to align you to a new way of thinking. They're trying to align you to seeing that you are a very wealthy individual indeed. They're trying to align you to your wealth, first of all, and trying to heal something that may be somewhat of a wealth sapper. And I'm just making that word up because I don't even know what the word is for what it is. They're showing me someone who set like a thought process or an ideology that maybe everyone else follows that saps your energy. I believe once again it would be really important for you guys to pick up that book by Napoleon Hill. Um, it's Think and Grow Rich, right? And the book was written so long ago. I believe it's at the very beginning of the um, 20th century, to be honest with you. Very beginning of it, maybe later, but I feel like it was the very beginning. The book is, I think, would benefit you. I think it would benefit everyone, to be honest with you, but about the community, this disenfranchised thought process of the community, because they're bringing that up for you, and that you are different from everyone else. So everyone else may be sitting around twiddling their thumbs, and they have expectations of meeting the approval of all the people around them, and you are one who's meant to be um, aware and integrated into your purpose. To be honest with you, you mm, they don't want you to be rude to they're saying that when you're on your purpose or your path, it would be we would be gentle with our words, because there's nothing to be angry about when you're following your interests. So they're telling you to be gentle with people, a gentle leader, because you are a leader in something. Ask your angels. If you don't know which angels to ask, I would really meditate on a name. Ask the angels to give you the name of the ones that are helping you. That works for me. I know how that sounds, but ask for the name, and no matter what name comes up, even if you never heard of it before, if you see the number of zeros that's behind the number of angels there are, but we only know of so many. We only know of these many. Just like demons. Oh, we only know of so many. You know, but there are so many that you can't even count it. I could, if you could have seen them, it was like 26 sets of zeros after the number. I was like, dude, that's something I have to like do some research on, figure out what you call that. So, and you want to meditate on the name of the angel that is helping, or that would help you, and ask, right? Ask for, like, what path am I meant to be on, kind of thing. um, Ask questions of your community, ask questions of the people around you. um, Ask before you are going to challenge someone, and ask for help to bring it in a gentle way. Ask to bring it, for assistance. Is there a way that I can say this where it's not killing them, but they're getting the truth, they're getting the gist of things? I'm resonating with my Chiron placement. Is there a way I could do that? Kind of thing. It's very important that you do. Black, I'm seeing that color, and that tells me that there's a richness in the ignorance. Like there's something there that it needs to be explored. Not your ignorance, but ignorance of others. And I, in no way or shape or form am I, like, disrespecting the people, because ignorance is not a bad thing. It's that there's something already within us that causes us to ignore this truth, or sidestep the truth. So, you know what I mean? So, there's something, uh, what do you call it? Mm, Distracting you. So there's an ignorance in a lot of us. I was ignorant, but shoot, I'm probably still ignorant now. I don't know. Until it's brought to my awareness. But either way, you could be dealing with a Scorpio, a Capricorn, a Pisces. Those are the main signs I'm seeing here. I'm also seeing Aquarius and Sagittarius, main signs. I'm also seeing, it seems like all the signs are covered. Scorpio, Sagittarius, cusp, Sagittarius, Capricorn, cusp, Capricorn, Aquarius, cusp, Aquarius, Pisces. Nope, it's not all. Aquarius, Pisces, and then we have, hmm, yeah, this looks like that's it. Yeah. So I'm also seeing other water signs, Cancer, and then another Taurus or Virgo. So if you're not dealing with those signs, which you don't have to be, those signs could also be in your chart. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, my links are on my page. Peace, love, and light. Take care.